Okay, so welcome everyone. Nice to see everyone. First meeting for 2026. Change in faces. So some of you might remember that Janine retired. And so I just reached out on behalf of my team to John and offered to take the lead on sort of coordinating agendas and things like that for the meeting. I'm not sure how many of you know my background, but I work at Gympie and I've been in records for a few years now. So, yeah, and been MAGIQ site for quite a while. Since about 2009, I think we upgraded to MAGIQ. So, just so you know my background a little bit. Everyone should have received an agenda for today, and I think we might just kick off. John, did you want to kick off with the MAGIQ Performance Reporting?
Sure. So and we talked about reporting a fair bit in our last meeting, and we've been very frustrated with it because we have struggled even with our clients who are in the cloud because we don't have MAGIQ Performance in our environment. We just have the reports module, the old MAGIQ Reports module, which we rely on heavily. So we've got over 80 reports that we use to maintain all our processes and frameworks. And MAGIQ is sort of encouraging everyone, sometimes quite aggressively, to leave the old reports module and move to performance. But I haven't met anyone at all who's really been able to get it going. And we definitely haven't. You know, we sat down with North Burnett and tried to see if we could make head or tail out of it, and we couldn't. So, yeah, very, very difficult for people who rely on reporting a lot, and a bit sort of like discouraging. You think if you've got to move forward with this product, it's very difficult to drive. Anyway, the good news is that Karen Barton from MAGIQ, I'm sure quite a few of you know Karen, reached out to us, and she said that she would like to work with us to try and get the performance tool working for the reports that we need. So I've just made a start on that in January, and we're leaning on Croydon Shire Council's implementation of MAGIQ and performance reporting to try and get things going. It was good. Like, we start off with a simple report to see if we could get some of the concepts, and Jan, my program, and I sat down and we did get a report going, one that we needed for our clients in the cloud, because this is one of the things we need a way, because we've written tools. We can't let people use our tools unless they can see everything, they have access to everything that our tools have access to. And the only way we can do that is to run this report in MAGIQ to say, give me a validation code. And if the two validation codes meet up, our software will say, yes, I'll do that job for you. So we got that going, and we learned a lot about how it works and holds together. I'm concerned that it's going to be very, very difficult just for the average person to actually build their own reports. But as we go through time and we get better at this, Courtman happy to share with all our queuing members our knowledge on how the thing works and how you might be able to get out of it what you want to get out of it. I know already that it's not, the way they've got it set up now is not going to work for what we need. And it's something for you all to think about, like, how do you view records in your system? Do you think of them as folders of records, or do you think of records individually? And the way they've set up the performance tool is kind of, they start with the documents and then move down towards the folders. And what that results in is, if a folder doesn't have any documents in, then their reporting tool can't see it. So Karen has said she's going to get them to build a connector for us, which is doing the opposite. So, because we think about folders and containers, and then a container is a group of records that we work with together, and it sort of makes life a lot easier, lot less overhead. So if they can get that side of things going, that might work for us. Because we have reports, for instance, that will tell us when we've got empty folders in our classification scheme. Because we say if you've got empty folders, you're making a statement that you collect documents that you're not actually collecting. And we ask the question why. And they said they can't do that. They can't report on things like that. The other thing that was interesting too is that with the old reporting system, and I know that like we've got some advanced skills here, so we could write a lot of reports that your average records officer probably can't write because you need to have some SQL SQL scripting skills and to be able to use the report builder. But we've got those skills in here, so we were able to get some really, really powerful reports. Like the one I've just finished was about looking for records that are in a recycle bin, which sounds kind of straightforward. But as you know, if something is deleted, or you may not know, but if something is deleted in MAGIQ, it appears in your recycle bin, so you can get it out. But if it's a folder, you don't see what's in the folder. And you could have subfolders. So you could delete a folder that has subfolders that goes down a couple of levels, and you can't see what that is. So I've written a report that actually brings back that information so you can see exactly what has been deleted, not just the parent folder that was deleted. So these sort of things are going to be really challenging, but fingers crossed. Karen's really good, and she seems really keen to work with us, that we'll be able to get some positive results, and that we'll be able to translate that onto everyone in this group, at least anyway. So if you need help, we can help out with that. So yeah, just keep watching that space. And I think if you don't have access to the old reports module and you need it, I think you can actually pressure MAGIQ and they will give it to you. It's about that, unless anyone's got some questions on that. Yeah, Richard. You're muted.
Yep,
Yeah.
just finding the unmute button. I've just put it into the chat. The MAGIQ Performance Reporting user guides, are they readily available? I've not found any accessible documentation to guide me through how to write reports using this tool.
Yeah, this is what makes it quite difficult. I did get they sent me a PDF document that sort of, I guess it's like a beginner's tutorial on using it, but it's all based on their finance system. So very, very hard to translate to the data sets, and it's not structured like the data that comes across is like, oh, this is another problem with it too. You just reminded me. So that it builds these data sets that sucks out of MAGIQ and then brings into the reporting tool. And it does that once a day. So you're not actually getting up-to-date results. So if you run a report and you go, oh, I need to change something in MAGIQ, and you go and change something, you come back and run it, you won't see a difference until it's been updated, and that happens overnight. I think there's a manual way of doing it, but I don't know if everyone has access to that, or if you just need to, if you need to be an admin. But so that document they gave me was not very good, Richard. But the help was better. Like I found that the actual help, I started to read through the help when you open up performance, there's a help button. But again, it's all finance. It's all the examples are in finance. So I've got to work my way through that, and it's a tough read, I must admit, to sit down and try and work out. And we've got two people here, and Jan's really quite technical and good, so he's making it a lot easier for me. So yeah, it's difficult. The other thing too that they're implementing, which is going to, and I was going in that direction before, and I forgot where I was going with it. Just about what the reporting system can see and what you can see. So they're actually bringing in a method. They reckon they've implemented it, but it doesn't work, to actually only let you report on documents that you have access to. I think it's a bit of a dodgy way so they're trying to apply MAGIQ documents level security in their performance reporting, which I think is good because you shouldn't be able to see descriptions and document names of documents that you're not supposed to have access to, because there can be a lot of sensitive information in those. But you still need, particularly as a records manager, you want to know total numbers and things like that. You just don't want to know the numbers that you can see, and you might not be able to even tell whether they're that you can't see everything, because all you know is there's what you can see. So there might be stuff there that it's been configured that you can't even see as a records manager. So so we're trying to talk to them about changing that too, but that's going to actually be terrible for us if it's only set up so you only get to report on documents that you can see, because two people can go and run the same report and then come back and have an argument because the reports are saying different things. So yeah, but sorry, Richard, your question was about the help. The online help isn't too bad. It's a lot there, and it is a pretty tough read. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It's kind of interesting because I first remember MAGIQ proposing the use of performance within the EDRMS back at a MAGIQ user group meeting in ESC. We're talking a very long time ago now. And I know we didn't go down that path because of the expense involved in the costs around extracting the data from MAGIQ documents to make that available in performance. And at the time, the standard reporting module, the original reporting module, did enough for us. I mean, we're encountering quite a few problems with unreliable reports now. But yeah, it's quite interesting that they've floated this product for so long, but we're still having these sorts of questions and discussions around its value as a reporting tool for the records management system.
Yeah, we've sort of felt that they've wanted to monetize it. And the way they do that is by charging for training and charging for development of reports and that sort of thing. And a lot of records units just don't have that sort of budget, and they're not interested in it, and they just don't make those sorts of decisions. And we've said to MAGIQ, and this is why I think they've come and said, well, let's work with you guys. We've said no one wants to use it unless they can see that it's a proven tool that works. So until you've got actual records people out there using it and using it effectively and talking to how great it is, you're not going to get big take up. And I think they want big take up. So yeah, let's hope that the positive outcome of this is that they work with us and we get it set up so it works well for a documents environment. And then we can start sharing it, what we found, with everyone, and maybe everyone will benefit from it.
Yeah.
Including MAGIQ.
That's right, yeah. Okay. Any other questions or points on MAGIQ Performance?
Thing we've even looked at, I hadn't mentioned, we're so small end out here, I suppose, with our little council, that we just don't get caught up in a lot of the promotion and stuff. So I'll have to do some research after I finish.
Have a look at what you've got now. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, well, if that's all we have, we might move on to the next item on the agenda, and I'm going to hand over to a couple of the other team members here in Gympie. So just as a bit of a background, we upgraded to 6.8, I think it was, late-ish last year. And so until then, we were still using the original Workbench for Windows because we found that there was the behavior of the new Workbench just wasn't quite where we wanted it to be. So I'm just going to hand over to some of the ladies in my team to go through some of the challenges they've been facing in there. And I think if anyone else has any feedback or suggestions around what they're facing would be really helpful to the team.
Fine, I'll go first, I guess. Kate's going after me for sure. I think my main issue with the Workbench from its upgrade is the movement of the metadata. So I'll go to register a document, I'll add custom property sets, and I'll keep data for next document. And then when I go to the next, the panels like reorder themselves, and it's different every single time. And as someone that's trying to go probably as fast as I can, it's really frustrating.
What, Georgia? Is it talking?
Yes.
Yeah, Georgia. What do you mean by the panels?
So sorry, when I'm adding, when I'm in panels, I mean custom property sets.
Oh, custom property sets, right?
Yep, and any of the default property sets from my document type. After I fill in all that metadata, and I click submit, and it goes to the next one, and I've kept all the data for the next document. It reorders, yes. So I might go correspondent property, document additional metadata, and then it'll swap and have the property first, and it'll be different every time.
Oh, doesn't rearrange it alphabetically or something.
Nope, it's completely random.
Oh wow! I don't often have multiple custom property sets that I'm filling in when I'm using Workbench, so that's something I'll have to play with Georgia to sort of see what's going on. Does anyone else experience that? Yeah, Richard.
Yeah, sorry. Similarly, we've had issues like that with the metadata not holding between multiple documents. But also, and I'll just put it in the chat box there, a particular hiccup we're having is when we go to the correspondent data entry and you start typing in the name of a correspondent, Jones, and you then press the space bar, you can no longer enter anything else. It just stops, it freezes. We actually have to, our workaround is to go and type it in the correspondent into Notepad and then paste it in on top of. We have raised this with MAGIQ, and right. They are investigating. They've got an open ticket. We had a video call with them, and they recorded it happening in action. The usual thing is, it works when you have someone watching you, but no.
Yeah.
So maybe not the same issue, but certainly issues with the Workbench module. Yeah.
Is it? Sorry, Richard. Is it always Jones, or it could be any name?
Any name. We actually took a video recording of it. I probably won't share it just now, but if offline you wanted to have a look, so I can better describe the issue.
So you start typing in a name, and then you hit the space bar. Is it always the space bar?
Yep.
And then it just
Yep.
Wow. Another one I'll have to play with, see if that I've never seen it happen. So yeah. Okay. Sorry, Georgia.
No, I was just saying on top of that, we have similar issues as in the data won't keep for the next document sometimes as well, randomly, like it just stops. And it's so frustrating on top of that issue I was talking about. So the metadata rearranges, and then I'll click keep data for next document, it rearrange again, and then I go again, and then it's gone blank.
Right. Okay.
And it's completely random.
I've got to admit, I don't use Workbench a lot. My staff use Workbench. So I use it for our internal mail when I've got a few things to do. But for our client sites, when we've got 50 documents that we're processing, it's usually a staff member doing it. So I'm going to ask them if they've been experienced. They haven't told me they've been having trouble, but I'll ask them if that's happening as well. If it is, I might raise a ticket. Have you raised a ticket with them, Georgia?
Our business systems team have, yeah.
So I might raise, if I can show it happening too, I'll raise a ticket, so it might get some priority on there.
We actually have a patch happening in March. March it is, and according to our latest communication, there's some enhancements in that for the that's in-tray enhancement, in-tray fixes, and navigator enhancements. So there's nothing there that I can see for Workbench. Yes, that's a little disappointing.
So just a story for anyone who doesn't know why the Windows one isn't available anymore. it's because of a security patch in the Windows Server operating system. And I think it's once you get to like 2019, it doesn't support those security protocols. So, and they weren't doing any further development on that. So they're just doing it all web-based. So once it stopped working, it just stopped working. You had no choice. You have to go to web. The thing I disliked about it the most is that you could no longer, like all the keep data for next document, I think is working for me, but I didn't like that it doesn't delete the documents that you processed as you process them. Like it looks like it does in the app because your queue gets smaller and smaller and smaller, but where you've loaded them from, they stay there. So I'm not sure if people are aware that you really have to go back once you've finished and go and delete everything that's on your network drive that you loaded up. The other thing I don't like too, but I understand why they do it, is all the records that you load up actually go over to their server, which I hate because they're government documents going onto a server for an external company and one that's not even Australian owned. So, but we think they're doing that to keep licensing. I think they pay a license for the, what do you call it, the rendering. And they only have to pay one license if it's just on the one server. So they're taking all their documents up just using the one license. So we did it locally, we'd all be paying a license each for that rendering. So I think I can understand why they're doing it, but I still don't like it. But yeah, they're the two bugbears that I have with it. But I must admit, it's funny how change works. Once you sort of start using something for a while, you just accept it and go, that's normal. So, I'll definitely ask my staff, and follow up on those, get back to everyone. Yeah.
Richard's just asked John for if you can clarify what you were saying about where the documents are sitting in an external location waiting for the rendering.
Yeah, I'll see if I can demonstrate.
Yeah, that's not something I was aware of either.
So I'll just pull Workbench over. So bear with me. Like I said, I don't use it all the time. So, okay, so I'm just going to grab, there's the agenda, okay, that we're using today. Move this out of the way and go open. Download fail. Well, that's great, isn't it? Okay, is it? Then now we'll start seeing, well, it says it's there. I don't know why I've got a fail.
Just so you know, John, I've seen that before and we've raised that with MAGIQ. It's where it's not able to download a preview of the document. It does register it correctly, but the preview just won't display.
Yeah. I've had, yeah. Okay. They're looking into that, are they? Oh,
I believe so, yeah. It's one of, we had that happening with almost every file type when we originally were testing the current version, so.
Yep.
Yeah, we had trouble with that too.
Okay, so I submit that. Oh, sorry, I've got, do we have any more delete after, or just deletes it automatically? Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It doesn't have a delete after save.
Yeah. Okay, so I submit it. When errors occurred, download failed. Well, that's just horrible, isn't it? Because it didn't do it.
It didn't want you. It needs you to choose a document type.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because okay, yep. Let's do that. Like, yeah, okay. So I go okay, and now I've got no documents in my queue. Okay, but if I go add files, it's still there on my network drive.
Yep.
Okay, is that clear to everyone?
Sorry, I think my question was, I mean, I understand why that's the case, because you would never allow a web application access to delete a file on a local computer.
Sure, yeah.
So that's, I can understand. Frustrating, but I understand. What I wasn't sure about was you mentioned something about the rendering. So it's gone from our local hard drive,
All right.
goes through a rendering process, a preview window, which is developed by a third party before it gets into the MAGIQ cloud?
No, so they've bought software to do the rendering, which is sitting on their server.
Right.
So now, so you're in the MAGIQ cloud, obviously, Richard. I forgot about that. So to you, you're thinking, what's the big deal? Because you've got all your government records in a software vendor's server that belongs to a foreign country. So you're going, what's it? But for people who have, in-house on-site implementations, they've got all their documents stored on a server of their choice. But when they use Workbench, it's pumped up into the MAGIQ cloud onto their server, and it's rendered and then sent back. So they're getting a copy of every document that we put through Workbench. Now, they might say to you, oh, yes, it's only kept for so many days before it's automatically deleted. I don't like that it's kept at all, but, you just have to take their word for it. You can't actually test that. So, yeah. But again, I've just accepted it. There's nothing we can really do about it. It's funny change. Eventually you go, okay.
I think I take your point there. I mean, we have gone into this in the full knowledge that we're utilizing the cloud solution, and that's where our data is. We've done an evaluation and we accept the pros and cons of that. But for a site where they anticipate that it's all on premise, to find or not be told that, oh, by the way, even for 10 seconds, your documents are going somewhere else.
Well, yeah.
That's a bit, I wouldn't say underhand, but it should be made a lot clearer so you know what you're getting.
Yes. Yeah.
Kate and Georgia, did you have any other? I know you've got a list of issues, but did you have any other ones you wanted to talk about today?
I think another thing is I don't know how MAGIQ's set up for everyone else, but when we have most of our document types, they feature the document additional metadata property set. With those, even though we click keep data for next document, we have a date received and a date of document. And every time we go to register a new document, it defaults back to today's date for both of them. I don't know if anyone's had the same issue.
Always does, I think. Ours does. I always notice I got to change the dates.
Right.
Yeah, always goes to today's date. Yeah. So if you're going back registering old emails or other correspondence, you've got to change the dates.
Yeah, it's so annoying because before the upgrade, it never did that. When you click keep data for next document,
Yes, it used to keep the dates. It doesn't.
I'm just going to have a try. Do document additional metadata. I will need to. Okay. Does it happen with both dates? Date received and document date?
Yep.
Oh, well, there it is. No, mine. Oh, sorry. I didn't do yes, I did. Why did that fail? No, it kept it for me. So it's really odd. I just got, okay. Yeah. No, sorry, that worked for me. It kept the dates when I did. So,
I wonder if it's linked back to that inconsistency on when it's keeping the metadata and when it's not, and what it's keeping and what it's not. So, yeah, we've got that one raised with MAGIQ as well. So
the only difference between your environment and my environment might be on the custom properties set. Are those mandatory fields for you?
yeah.
And I've made them not mandatory. Because not every date document is received and not every document has a document date as well. So
yeah,
it's really frustrating because you can't put no date in there.
No.
When you're using Workbench. So that's a frustrating thing. Yep. Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Any other points you want to raise?
Can we ask the question, John, if it's mandatory, can we make it not mandatory if you're not having the issue? Is that a way around, do you think?
It could be, yeah. Who's talking, Joe?
So it's Joe.
Yeah, Joe, yours is not mandatory. I've already fixed yours. Sorry, you broke up then. No, but yeah, well, I'll fix Joe's, but it's not an easy thing to fix, the mandatory one. You got
Did you hear me,
it
John?
is easy. Sorry, go again. Or Joe's typing.
Can you hear us?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we can.
Sorry, it's Joe from Cloncurry, and Liz is with me, so she'll be the one that'll be trying it. She just said she's been having issues with that date being the same as Georgia. So we're just wondering if we try changing it from those fields being mandatory to whatever the other word is.
Yeah,
that might solve the problem.
I've already fixed your system and they're not mandatory anymore.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Thank you, John.
So I guess that's not related because we've got the same problem in Cloncurry as we do in Gympie, and they're configured differently. Yeah.
Bummer.
But yeah, to fix that, you've got to go in the database and actually change the data in the database. There's nothing you can do from the front end. Yep.
Right.
It's easy to do. I do it in 2 seconds.
Kate, did you have any you wanted to raise before I jump onto the couple that I had?
Nah, that was pretty much it. Georgia covered it.
Okay. So the couple that I have seen is what we've found is if a user uploads documents to the Workbench and then for whatever reason, before they register the document, they realise they need to make a change. So they remove the document from the Workbench. And it doesn't matter whether they close the Workbench or keep it open, but they remove the document from the Workbench, they make a change to it. So could be a typo corrected or they've extracted a page that's been attached in error, and then they re-upload the document to the Workbench. It's like it's caching the image, the original image, and it still displays the first version, not the amended version of the document.
Wow.
And it does that. It will do that for a couple of, I think I tested it at least 24 hours later and it was still caching the original preview. Now it does register correctly. So it'll register the amended document. Obviously because it's registering the file, not the preview. But for our users, it's a little confusing and that sort of throws them a bit when it looks like it's going to register the incorrect document. So I'm not sure if anyone else has seen that one. It's not something that we come across very often because usually by the time you load it in the Workbench, you've QA'd your scans or whatever it might be. But thought to see if anyone else has come across it, and if not, it might just be something that other MAGIQ sites might want to keep an eye on. Yeah,
I would guess that it's because they grab the document, send it up into the cloud, and they render it, and there's probably a fee, and that's why they keep it there for however long before they automatically delete it, so that if you send the document the same name up, they're probably going, we've already rendered this one, we don't have to render it again.
That's interesting, isn't it? I might have a chat with our business systems team about that because I suspect they don't know that that's happening. And it would be interesting to know how long it sits up there for, because I was also thinking, I'm thinking worst case scenario here. I'm wondering where we sit if that cloud location gets breached somehow. Yeah, whose responsibility is it to report those breaches and that sort of stuff? So that's in with the new legislation coming in. So that's come into play.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So okay, I might flag that with our business systems team. The other one I found was so as I said before, we've been MAGIQ for quite some time, and until recently using Workbench for Windows, but we just happened to, well, I happened to realise, the rest of my team may have noticed it before me, that when you are in the Workbench and you're applying a workflow and you go to the user selection screen, it now displays your global groups as options as well as your users. And I'm not entirely comfortable with that because, again, our global groups have been set up for a very long time, but they're designed for security and based around what types of information and what folders users should be able to see, not necessarily who should be receiving every piece of correspondence related to those matters. So, we've got like a finance group, but not everyone in that group needs to see every piece of finance correspondence that comes through our incoming mail, for example. So it's a little interesting, and I'm wondering if it's only our site or elsewhere.
So you think you used to only have users?
In the Workbench for Windows, it was only users. It wasn't the global groups. We had, you could create local groups, but we didn't get global groups in there.
Oh, that's really interesting because my recollection is that they've always had global groups in there.
Yeah.
And that they used to have local groups as well.
Yeah.
And I've raised a ticket with them to actually put the local groups back. They didn't even realise that they had taken them out.
Yeah.
So whoever did the development didn't realise there are lots of groups.
Yeah.
And we used local groups a lot, so that people, because if we're just looking after the record library, we don't want people pinching our groups to apply security in other libraries.
Yeah.
So, because the
other thing too is if you just go to the library and open a document from the library and apply a workflow, you don't get global groups in there. You only get users.
From where?
So if you just do a search and bring up a document or go to a folder in the library and with a document and apply a workflow in there, you only get users. You don't get global groups, or we don't, I should say.
Oh, I'm just
going. I don't. I just had a look. Only in the Workbench.
So you're going on. You've been from MAGIQ.
Yep.
And I go send to workflow.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go FYI. Select. And I can go add user or add user group.
Okay. Maybe it's just that. Okay. Maybe it's an. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I think you're right there, but they're separate lists.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, they're separate lists, whereas in the Workbench, it's all one list. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They are separate lists. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, my concern from our end is that we didn't design our global groups to be used for dissemination.
Yeah.
For dissemination, and because they weren't previously as visible to our end users, we certainly haven't trained them to understand what global groups are and what they're used for.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just want to have a look at something too, because bring it back. Hang on. I've lost it.
And obviously our users just ignore,
Hang
which
on.
is obvious based on me not
Oh, shit.
clarifying that they're separate lists, but we don't train our users about using add user group.
You don't,
So,
yeah. So,
no. Because like I said, we didn't design them to be used for that purpose.
and it goes show. I mean, that's what I would be training people to do, is to go and make them, all your groups, not private, so that when they go show members, they can see who they're actually sending it to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that, yeah, I would put that in the training, but yeah.
I
yeah,
just
like
don't
said,
think we've built our groups. I don't think our global groups,
Yeah.
well, certainly not all of them, would really be the right, necessarily the right members and structured the right way for that purpose. So, yeah.
It's a hard one.
But that might just be us needing to look at how we're using the system in that case then, rather than an issue so much with the workbench. I think it in part comes down to the fact of how long we've been using it. So obviously we're like original, we were info vision. So yeah, days, and then the info expert. So it could be that we just haven't kind of reviewed our processes and our config recently enough. So okay, so that's interesting then. Okay.
Yeah. Could be a good exercise to do for Gimpy.
Yes, in amongst our other transition processes. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's all that we had from the workbench point of view. Did anyone have anything they wanted to add to that discussion or raise themselves? No? Okay, I am conscious of what time it is, so let's bring this agenda back up, which I've lost. Sorry, I think I've accidentally closed my agenda. Let's reopen this. So the next discussion point was around any comments or feedback on the latest QSA record keeping standards. I think that was one for you, John.
Yeah, we get a show of hands on it. Have you read them? I have. Anyone else?
I've was records. Now I'm actually officially payroll. So my records is just slipping into the background, but I just thought I'd better jump in today and have a look and see what I really have missed.
Yeah. It's probably a bit. Oh, Miranda she's got a hand up. She's read them.
Yeah, we've had myself and my coordinator have had a pretty good look at them and what they've got on the website, rewatched the sessions, and we're trying to redo our policy at the moment. So I think we all are probably, if we haven't already.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just geared up to do that, and yeah, I'm going to wait until they actually officially get approved, because they're just draft at the moment still, unless I'm out of touch. And I guess they'll give us a grace period anyway to get all those things done. So, but I'm really happy about them. I hope that they really get adopted. I think we're going back to IS 40 and IS 31, the old record keeping standard, and disposal standard, which I thought were very well written and quite practical and easy to understand. When they brought in the what do they call it, record keeping policy, which replaced those two standards, I felt they really watered it down and made it too high level and was too open to interpretation, and left big holes there that people could argue to us as record keepers, hey, I'm allowed to keep my records in Outlook because it's an approved business application. And it's like, no, that's not what they mean, but it is what they've written. So I'm glad they're going back. So I'm really keen on that. I think, I don't know, QSA sort of went a bit funny, I reckon, for a while, and I think they're really getting back on track, which is exciting. The other one is has anyone read the the early source record destruction standard? I think is it a standard now they're bringing out? Yeah. Has anyone been across that? No. I'll have a read of that one too and have a look at stuff on that too, because in that one, if that one gets passed, we'll be able to start destroying hard copy records even if things are of permanent value. So in the original, like in 2074, which is the current GRDS 2074, which is the current disposal authority, one of the requirements is these are not permanent records. So you can't do it for things that are permanent records. So they're actually changing that to go, not even permanent records, as long as it meets the criteria, you can do it. And I've got a few different, so it's a separate disposal authority, I think now, with a few different disposal authorities which describe things differently. So when that one gets passed too, we're going to have to update all our procedures and policy on the early source record destruction, and our risk assessment approach will change and that sort of thing too. But I think it's very good. I think it's, just if you can get rid of more paper, it'll be great. So yeah, keep an eye out for those. They're very important for us and will be happening this year.
Okay. Okay, so if there's no other comments about that, the only other item on our agenda was a discussion around potentially renaming the group just to reflect the fact that it's the group is not restricted to, or none of them was restricted, but
only representative of.
Representative of
Queensland.
Queensland members. Yeah. So, John, you had a suggestion of just tweaking it slightly to the Records Information Networking Group.
Yeah, ring. I thought it had a nice ring to it.
Yeah. Pun intended.
Yes. And
so,
Debbie Clark from New Zealand she's not here today. She's regular attendee, and she's been saying, can we change it? Because I think she'd like to get more New Zealand people joining our meeting too. So, but I know she's having the day off, but she said she's going to try and join anyway. But yeah, and we do have the occasional New South Welshman join us as well. Yes. Actually, have we got anyone from New South Wales here today? No. So
many years ago, we used to, one of the couple of meetings in Cairns, we had some people from the Territory. They don't, from council from the Territory.
Yeah. So yeah, we'd love to open it up to everyone. Yeah. And the Territory in New South Wales are very similar to how we do things in Queensland anyway. So it would fit in with the way we all think and talk. And again, it's not everyone here has MAGIQ documents as well. So really appreciate the patience for the people who sit here and listen to us go through our MAGIQ document stuff. It's good to make it, if we make it more inclusive, I guess we get more out of it. So does anyone have any other suggestions for a name?
I know Jo's got her hand up, but she's also said that she likes ring.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, we like ring. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Rookie error.
Okay. Well, if anyone else has got another idea, email it through to Christy, and and then we'll just put it in the mix. But otherwise, we don't hear from anyone. We might just refer to ourselves as Records Information Networking Group. Ring. Excellent.
Shania's just sending us a message. She's got something going in the chat at the moment. So
No, I'm all good. Sorry.
okay, you're good. Okay. So I did put in the agenda that working on still doing quarterly meetings. Our next one would be May. I don't know if anyone has any. I know with Gympie we have some public holidays through May. I don't know if anybody else has anything going on in May that sort of precludes a particular space or time slot within the month. Otherwise, we might just aim for somewhere around about the second week in, similar to what we've done
Yeah.
this
Okay.
time, second or third weekend. Yeah. Okie doke.
Does anyone have I kind of like afternoons, but I know Debbie from New Zealand would probably prefer us to do it now morning, so she's doing it through their work hours. Does anyone have an opposition to doing it in the morning? I find mornings are very busy for me, but you know, that's fine. I can always do mornings if it's going to suit some people better.
We could look towards a later morning, like an 11 o'clock or something like that, just prior
to lunch.
the lunch. No.
No
Okay,
objections to
11 works.
yeah. Why don't we try that?
Okay, so we will aim for an 11 a.m. and let me just bring up the calendar for May. Let's get through May. So if we went for the week of the 18th of May, and do we still want to stick with Wednesdays?
Wednesday's good for me if it's good for everyone else.
So that would be at the moment Wednesday the 20th of May at 11 a.m. Just popping that in my calendar so that I can't lose that one. Okay, well that's everything we had on our agenda. Is there anything else anyone else would like to go through before we give everyone back their afternoons? Okay, that's no worries at all, Richard.
All good in Cloncurry. Thank you for your time.
Excellent.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us and taking a bit of time out of your day. We'll send through a call for agenda items before the next meeting.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good
Thank you.
afternoon.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. See you
Bye.
later.
Bye.
Bye.